Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it is Thursday. We're time stamping these now. We did it on Tuesday. So we'll do it on Thursday, June the 29th in the year 2023. And Tass, did you see the price of Leo today?
You mean the latest, greatest stable coin there is?
That too, yes. But no,
it's 8.3. Oh, you're talking the 31 cents.
Yeah, it was on par with Hive because
I
of
think
accounting error.
Yeah, I think somebody messed up the feed a little bit and took the feed from for Hive and did it twice. So
it was nice though. It was a good feeling,
Yeah, for those who live and die by the price, but yeah, I'm not all that worried. I have an article that I wrote just before the show. It hasn't gone live. I still got to put the Leo glossary links in it. Everybody should be linking all their articles with Leo glossary links. Been adding to that the last couple of days since we finally got the edit button back. And but yeah, I have I spell out the next phase for Leo. So Cal, if you're listening, look for my article, and it's about Leo being a financial network, and not that anything I say in there I haven't said before, so he's well aware of it. But
right, yeah.
It's another way to springboard the value of Leo.
Springboard the value of Leo. I did my dollar cost averaging when I got off work a little early today, so I was able to buy my Leo without stressing before I went to bed. So, and Forex broker said this is financial advice. Stack Leo. So if it all goes to hell, we can blame him. Perfect. I like it.
Well, to be honest with you, and it's interesting because, and I'll let everybody know what the hell the article's about. Addicted, I've been involved with Leo Glossary, so I've been a little lax on my commenting. And I actually missed one of my main article comments yesterday from actually 2 days ago. And so I went through it this morning, and Addicted left it, and he said, and I'm going to have to write a full post about this, but I bashed token burns. And he said, you're saying the same thing here with Leo about the revenue, blah, blah, blah. And it's like you're contradicting yourself or something like that. And I'm like, no, it's token burns. First off, token burns are lazy because most projects that do token burns and promote token burns, it's because that's all they have to talk about. The second thing is that's not what Leo's doing. It's not a buy and burn. It's a buy and distribute. And I think maybe Addicted thought it was a buy and burn. But the big key, and this is going to what Forex broker is saying, and he's absolutely correct. When you look at Leo as an asset, okay, right now the premise is to generate revenue and drive that to Leo through the buy program. And we already have the revenue from the bridges that go to buy Leo to pay the HP delegators. We have the ad revenue, which will be coming up. We already see that the counters are there, the ads are there. So, we're all impatiently waiting for that article to come out from Cal and the team that tell us when that's going to go live and what's going on and the roadmap for that. But that's going to add buy value. We got an inkling for some of the future developments with the Leo wallet. Might be recurrent payments being possible. We know there's been talk about subscriptions. Well, guess what? Recurrent payments is good for that. And this is all to drive buy demand to the token.
Right.
Well, when you're looking at an asset, and anybody who owns a home understands this. Well, not anybody. 90% of the people who have a home understand this because you take an asset and you leverage it by getting a loan against it. That's called a mortgage. That's how most people get their home. Why do they get a mortgage? Because most people don't have 150, 200, 250, 300, $400,000, whatever the number is, to buy a damn home.
Buy a house, right?
And so what they do is they take the value of the asset ahead of time and they leverage it to get themselves in the asset. Well, Leo's an asset. Leo has a value. Right now it's 8.3 cents. What happens if Leo's worth $3? Well, then you take that asset, and what if you could take the value of that asset? Because what do you do with Leo right now? If the price of Leo goes up to that 31.8 cents, what are you left with? You're left with two choices, John. Go sell or hodl. Do I hodl or
right.
do I sell? Do I sell or do I hodl? What do? Do I take some profits? What about if you could get a loan against that at 31.8 cents? Now all of a sudden you have a third alternative. You can extract the value and then you can put that to work. So what if you could take out a loan? I don't know, like let's say it's 75%. You don't even have to have 100%, 50%, whatever. And you take that and you put it in HBD and put that in savings and earn 20% a year. And you have a much lower payment on your loan. These are things that you can do. And this is how you grow a platform. Because all of a sudden, if you have, Leo at a couple bucks, and let's say there's 20 million tokens outstanding, there's $40 million in value just sitting there. Well, why don't we put it to work? And so this is the point of some of the things that I'm going to keep talking about and screaming about and, writing about and saying over and over again till people get sick of me, or Cal in particular gets sick of me, like with the edit button.
For sure. Yeah.
To say, hey, this is what we need to build, because then a lot of people will not sell their Leo under that instance. It's like, why don't I use it for collateral?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. It's interesting you put that third option out there, because most people would say, okay, I'm either going to sell it or I'm going to hodl it. It's going to go higher. Oh, I should take profits. Like that's kind of the two things in crypto, and
well, it's the two things for the average person. I'll tell you who doesn't think like that. The very wealthy and the ones who design the fucking financial systems, they certainly don't think like that.
Right. They look
think
at leverages.
Of third, fourth, fifth options. They think of how do they take their balance sheet and put it to work.
Yeah.
And they don't just have assets sitting there idling. I mean, actually, many of the banks, they go and use assets on balance sheets of insurance companies and pension funds and stuff like that. They don't even own the fucking assets, but they
use your money to do it.
Well, they don't. No, they go and it's called a repledge agreement. They'll go to an insurance company and get, a repledge agreement against bonds that they have, let's say some treasuries, and then they'll go and they'll take those and put them into the market as collateral against a loan, and they'll take a little piece of for doing the collateral transformation and some of these other things. So, no, they're not. This is at high level finance. This isn't the bullshit that people complain about what they think they understand about the banking system.
Yep.
They're not even using money that exists. So there
you go. Ready to dive into the Threadcast, or what? Dude, you're never using my beautiful image, man.
I forgot the image. Fuck.
That's like 3 times in a row now.
No, I did it last time. It was the time.
No, not on Tuesday. You didn't. You did it last week, where you put it in a comment underneath because you forgot to put it in the main thread.
Yeah, that counts. I used it. I was just a little slow.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's get into it.
It's gonna take me a little while to get the gist of it. Give me a couple months. I'll get it down.
That's okay.
On Tuesday, send me a note when you're leaving to work. Task: use the fucking image.
Yeah. Oops. Let's thread. I got the Forex broker saying let's thread. Yes, sir. Let's do it. There we go. There's the official Threadcast, and I won't refresh this. I have Jay Fang's comment to me saying, "Hey, Task actually did do a Threadcast." Because as soon as I got off work, the first thing I said was, "Where's the Threadcast?" Task usually sends it to me. It's not here. Where is it? Task, and Jay Fang is like, yeah, he did it hours ago. Here's the link." I'm like, oh, okay. So
see, you're already busting my balls. You were busting my balls. No. 3 hours before the show, or 2 hours before the show, and the damn thing was up. What did Jay Fang say an hour ago? So
I know.
I had it covered. Okay, you're right. I didn't have the image, so that's fair game.
But there you go. Yeah, sorry. My apologies. Our guest this time next week has a question. This is Manu from Hive Cuba. He wants to know: will you guys go to Hive Fest in September? Task, do you want to answer first, and then I'll answer second?
Nope.
The one weekend that Hive Fest decides to be booked is the weekend that my best friend is getting married. And I'm flying to Toronto with my entire family for the wedding. So I will not be at Hive Fest, even though it is literally a straight drive from where I live right now. I could get to Mexico, less than a day. But no, I won't be there. Tass won't be there, which sucks, but maybe next year.
We'll have to hold out for Leo Fest.
Yes. Leo Fest. When Leo Fest, Cal? When
Exactly.
Leo Fest. Another question. He actually said, would you be interested in paying some stuff with Hive or HBD using Bit Refill gift cards? There might be something going on to make that possible. I remember, it's funny. I did this post last Friday. I took a picture of the original ASIC miner I had when I was mining Litecoin back in the day, 9 years ago or something like that. And that was the only way in Canada you could get crypto out. You couldn't go to the bank. You couldn't get it transferred to your wallet. It was literally you getting a gift card and paying for stuff. They'd load up a gift card and send you a gift card for it. I never used it. I know that there's a service here in Canada that's been doing things like that for literally 10 years now. I've never used it personally. Bit Refill, I've never heard of it, but I know that it's been around for a long time. Personally, I've never used it though. Task?
I've never used it. That was similar to what card did you have? Crypto.com?
Crypto.com. Yeah, I still do. I still got the Crypto.com.
Oh, well, I guess what it was is Crypto.com had to pull out of the US, I guess.
Right.
They abandoned ship because actually I don't even think Gensler got after them. I think it was a bunch of states. But anyway, I've never used any of that. I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Right.
Nothing wrong with it. It's a way of, I guess it's very similar. I don't know. Crypto.com, I think your card is like a Visa. So I guess they're all like under the Visa logo and you can swipe it just like a Visa, but instead you have crypto tied to it instead of your bank account or whatever. I think it's a fantastic
option for sure, right?
Yeah, off ramp, if you will, where you can turn your crypto into real world goods and services. And so if you can go, buy some food or buy, whatever you need with crypto, that's great. And if it's using HBD or Hive, I mean, I would suggest setting it up with HBD. That just makes it the reach even better.
Man. Yeah, definitely. It definitely serves a need for sure. But yeah, Creative Voice says, when Leo communities go live and operational, and Cal said refresh, and it's there. As you can see, top left of the screen, we have home, articles, and communities. So communities is live on Leo. There you go. Cal comes up with a question. FTX, or actually, sorry, Nifty first. Sorry.
Is this about feet?
No, he said, did you get your passport for Hive Fest? It's like,
no,
I can't go, man.
No.
Can't go, bro. Cal comes up with FTX is in talks to relaunch their exchange. What are your thoughts on it? Would you ever trust to use it? Well, first of all, I never trusted it or used it to start with. Like I never did. Like that dude just kind of was weird to me. And I know crypto is filled with really weird dudes and dudettes, but yeah, SBF kind of was just a little seemed off. So I was never, but you gotta understand, for me personally, like the only time and Task, I'm pretty sure you will agree with this for you too. The only time I used anything was like Coinbase to onboard, offboard fiat. For me, it was crypto.com. That was it.
Yeah.
I never, I had a Binance account, but I literally used it when it was 2017, 2018, and never used it again. I just,
I mean, I have a Coinbase account, and Coinbase, I have no money on it, There's no fiat, there's no crypto, there's nothing on Coinbase. I just use it as a pass through when I'm going on or off, into or out of crypto. And that's why, I mean, FTX to me doesn't matter, because these centralized exchanges, I think it's foolish to keep money on. I mean, really, it's either keep your money in the bank in fiat. And people say, "Oh, the banks suck." Well, I can't say for every country, but in the U.S., you're insured up to 250. So, you're going to be covered there. And in fact, as we found out, even if you're over 250,000 with the Silicon Valley Bank, the government's not going to let people be hung out to dry on that one. Not with people saving. So, either keep it there, or not your keys, not your crypto. Keep your Bitcoin in your wallet. Keep your Ethereum in your wallet. Keep your Hive in your wallet. Keep whatever in your wallet, because I don't trust any of these exchanges. I mean, Coinbase, I think, is fairly solid. They're a publicly traded company, so they're under a little bit more scrutiny. But at the end of the day, we've seen many banks and Lehman Brothers and everybody else play some shady shit. So I'm not going to trust Coinbase with $500 sitting there holding it.
Dude,
it's not.
Speaking from experience, I put all my eggs in a certain PayPal basket, and I'll tell you, it goes way beyond not your keys, not your crypto. When you sign up for I'm pretty much any of these online banks, and I'm using bunny ear quotes, you sign up to their acceptable use policy, which has a term in it that says they can change it at any time, and you sign up for their terms and services, terms and agreements to the terms. So in that, it literally says we can shut you down. PayPal does, and I learned. So way past not your keys, not your crypto. If you can hold your little, even now, you can't even trust like Ledger. What I think we got to go back in crypto to the best cold storage is printed keys on a piece of paper, laminated, stuck in a safe. How about that?
But you need something to access it.
Yeah. Or just power it up in Hive and Leo.
Yeah, I mean that's staking on Hive is relatively safe, because they're the only counterparty risk is really the blockchain. I mean, you don't have a centralized entity, and I know a lot of services have offered staking, but again, FTX offered staking. Look at what happened there. So people need to understand what counterparty risk is, and people don't, because nobody looks at the balance sheets of banks when they go put their money in the bank. Hell, I don't. I mean, I'm with TD Bank, a Canadian bank. Obviously, I'm with the U.S. Arm of it. I think they're pretty good, but I don't know how the financials are. But it doesn't matter, because I don't have all that much sitting in fiat. But it's you have to understand counterparty risk, and if not, you're going to lose if something happens. And people put their money on these exchanges thinking, well, I'll just get it back like I do when I go to my, when my bank goes under, I get my money back. Well, no, when these exchanges go under, you become a creditor in the bankruptcy. You just stand in line. So it's a totally different world.
I love it. Tusnika, is that the username? I apologize. Sunika. Yes. PayPal says you can't use your money anymore because we don't want you anymore. Well, that's basically what they told us. It was, even though we
did they even tell you that? They just shut your ass down?
No, they just shut it down. Yeah, and they said there's no recourse. They literally said this in the email. I remember it was April 2017. Remember, like yesterday. I got the email, and you got to remember back then, you used to get these emails all the time, these fake, like, PayPal shut your account down, click this link to get your account back. Like, there was phishing scams all the time. So I was used to getting that. It would always make my heart skip a beat. because I heard the horror stories and I'd see it, but it was a legit email, and I'm like, okay, and our account we had an account manager. That's how much money we had in PayPal going in and out. Like they axed our account manager like 6 months before this happened, so something was up, and they literally just sent the email, said, "You're done, no recourse, we're not going to reverse our decision. Have a good life." And you just sit there when you get that, and you revisit everything you've done, and I'm like, well, I've been doing the same thing for 17 years, so yeah, I've been fine with them for 17 years. Nothing has changed. I'm not doing anything illegal. I don't have a pyramid scheme going on. There's nothing, no multi-level anything going on. What's the issue? Try to call them up? Nope. I need to talk to a manager, please. Nope. Go on Twitter. I went on Twitter. I tagged them. Nope. They keep responding to me. Nope. What can you do? You can't do anything. They said you broke our terms, our acceptable use policy, and in that it literally says we can change it at any time. So what do? You agree to it when you sign up. So, anyways, I love PayPal. It's the best. Mintfish is up. What will it take for Leo Glossary to be bigger than Investopedia?
Going to take a lot more work. I mean, listen, Investopedia has a number of advantages. First off, they got like over 12,000 pages. They have a lot of pages that have been out for a long time, so they have age on. They also have a dedicated site, and they have a site that is menu mapped for what they're doing. They have a nice flow to it, and I'm sure it's very, very attractive to the search engines. Well, let's be honest, Google. Nobody gives a shit about anybody else.
It's Google.
Google. And also by this time, who knows how many tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions, possibly even billions of links, external links coming in are there from outside sources because people would link Investopedia in their articles.
Right.
You got to remember, I mean, Leo Finance has been around for 4 years. The site was recently changed. Leo Glossary is around a year. We have 2,900 pages. We may have 3 external links, if that many, a lot of internal links. But then again, Investopedia has a lot of internal links. They don't do quite as much as like Wikipedia and Encyclopedia Britannica and some of them.
Right.
But I mean, you're talking about a massive, massive undertaking, which it can be done. It's just going to take a lot of people. It's going to take time. I don't know if it can be done, even as a part of Leo, the Leo Finance website, because there's so many other pieces to it. But, I mean, if we start passing the links around, and here's something people can do. There's 3 things people can do. The first thing is use the links in your articles, because that creates other links. And if you're sending your articles out on social media, if the links are in there, maybe people start clicking through. So that's the first thing that can be done. The second thing is when people have questions about Leo Finance, about Hive, about Bitcoin, about something, take a Leo Glossary page and throw it on Twitter in the response. Here's a write-up about Bitcoin. Here's a write-up. What is Hive? I've never heard of it. Here's what is Hive. It's like 3,000 words. Here it is. Things of that nature can get it out there. And the other thing you can do is actually to go to Leo Glossary, familiarize yourself with it, bounce around, click around, understand it, see what's there, help the page views, increase the page views. Because, John, you and I have talked about this where, we've had, something up our butt and we start investigating something, or we're bored and we start reading something on Wikipedia. And next thing you know, 2 hours later, you bounced around like 500 different Wikipedia pages, just, reading about stuff. And, there's a link.
And
Okay.
there's a
Let me
damn
go.
link, and
Boom, boom, boom. And 2 hours go by and you've read all these different pages. And if you do that with Leo Glossary, as I've been saying with my page view articles over the past, couple weeks, there are entities that follow it. There are analytics out there that follow this stuff. SimilarWeb, whatever the analytics that Leo Finance uses internally, they have that. Google, I'm sure their analytics, even if somebody's not using it, I'm sure they're out there. And so Google has this information. So the more of this stuff that's done, and the more it's utilized, the better it's going to be. And that's what we can do. We can't do anything about the SEO ranking of Leo Finance. That's beyond my control, your control, anybody else's control. We can't do anything about it. We really can't do anything about who picks up on it from the outside, unless somebody who's listening here, or somebody on Leo Finance is writing for one of the mainstream crypto publications. We're not going to get those type of backlinks. You can throw it out on social media, that gets some links, some views coming through. Links tend to be low value if they're even given any credit at all, because they know everybody's throwing links on Facebook and Twitter. So the search engines kind of discount that anyway. But you put it out there, and you just never know. And maybe one of these things does go viral. Maybe somebody does link it in an article. Who knows? But the big thing is, use the damn thing and use it in your articles. Use it in what you're doing. If you have a blog outside of Leo Finance, throw some links in there. Even if you put in the bottom of your blog, what is Hive, and link to the What is Hive page, or what is Leo Finance page.
Right.
I mean, that'll go a long way. Helps out.
Yeah. I gotta get into the habit of doing that more. So I will do that just for Leo Glossary and all the hard work you do, Task. I will be a product of the product. I will practice what I preach. There you go. Tokenized is up. Hello, Maniacs. Our Hive witnesses paid. Hive witnesses. Big shout out to Eliana. Eliana just saw that our Hive witness was stopped. She restarted it. So let's pray. Let's pray that everything works out. But this is a Hive witness question. Tokenized wants to know, are Hive witnesses paid exclusively out of Hive inflation? If that's the case, as inflation decreases, so do their payments. What is the long-term incentive for them to keep running their nodes? It's just to try to get into the top 50. If you get into the top 50, it's like a miracle. We were at 50. We're at 52 or 54 now. So if anyone has witness votes, looking, you can click track profit as the witness. But yeah, it comes from the inflation. That's a good question. What happens, Task, after the inflation is done and it's all dried up and we're sitting here twiddling our thumbs? How do the witnesses continue to be rewarded for their nodes?
Well, there's always inflation. We're not going to zero. See, that's a misnomer. Hive is disinflationary, but it's never going to go to zero. It's not like Bitcoin. And so you're always going to have the payout for the node operators, because that's what you want your inflation for. You want to incentivize people to run the infrastructure. Right. You always need the infrastructure run. And in fact, and this is something Dan always harps on. They call me Dan. If you don't have that incentivization for infrastructure, then you're probably going to end up with centralized infrastructure, because somebody's going to have to figure out a way to monetize that. Right. And the only way you can do that, okay, maybe there's others out there, but the two that come to mind are transaction fees and data, selling data. And, neither of those, I mean, obviously transaction fees, as you see with Bitcoin and Ethereum, they make good money or can make good money off the transaction fees in addition to the block rewards. But you don't have that on Hive. So you have to incentivize that out of inflation. There's always going to be Hive inflation, which is a good thing because you want to keep incentivizing. You need that incentivization, and this is the problem with these projects that say, well, we're going to have a disinflationary token, and then it's going to go to zero, and there'll be no inflation. And it's like, then where's the incentive for anybody to do even the most basic of things? Somebody's going to have to figure out another way, and that tends to lead to centralization. This is why, this is one of the reasons why they call me Dan. You listen to him, why he has a problem with the Lightning Network. And it's not so much he has a problem with it, but he says, listen, all your incentivizations at the Bitcoin base layer, the miners are incentivized to keep Bitcoin, the network running. Lightning, he said there's no incentivization in Bitcoin. So these people, yes, they get it on transaction fees, but that means if it's not profitable for those who don't have a lot of transactions, it means it's going to end up centralized into a few large nodes. And who's going to be running those nodes? It's the question. Is it going to be some average Joe, or is it going to be Chase? We don't know.
Hope that answers the question, Tokenize. He follows that up with, do you guys know anything about the next Hive fork? When it's going to take place? What kind of features will be implemented? That's the shaking of the head. That it's funny because I remember you went to Block Trades and said, hey man, you interested in coming back on? He's like, well, I don't have anything to talk about. So I don't think it's anytime soon, judging by that.
Yeah, and I honestly, I should go look at the YouTube channel. I haven't seen a developer meeting in a while. They usually have them every month.
Right.
And I haven't looked at Block Trade's account to see if maybe I missed an article or two. He goes through phases where he writes a lot, then he doesn't write for a while. Yeah, I know Block Trade's last developer call I watched was a little while back. And his team, he's putting forth a lot of effort on Half. So he has his team trying to get that up to snuff. So
lots of back end stuff.
Yeah, they're really doing a lot there. And Hou, I forget what Hou was working on. I don't know. I haven't heard much about any ETAs or what they're looking at putting in there. I just haven't heard anything.
There you go. As soon as we know, we will thread about it. Guaranteed. Jay Fang is up. What is your take on the streaming platform war? Didn't even know there was one. Twitch, Kick, Rumble. I guess we could also include Vim. There's a lot of moves with XQC getting $100 million deal for Kick. All I know is that Twitch is the big dog, and they piss everyone off, it seems. They just seem to piss some streamer gets canceled or says something, they shut them down, and there's political drama, and it's just... I like my Vim. I like my little Vim. I don't need to be... I just want I'm not looking... See, this is the thing. With Vim... And maybe this is a problem. Maybe this is why we're in an echo chamber sometimes. People say we're in a Hive echo chamber. But my purpose of streaming on Vim for this podcast is to be a product of my product. I think it's absolutely useless for Task and I to get on camera and on the podcast each and every week and talk about Web3, and rah, and never use the stuff. Because that's what crypto is. Crypto is that's an echo chamber of people talking about buzz terms, never using said buzz terms, but just throwing buzz terms out. Every 6 months, there's something new. Web3, AI, NFTs, DeFi was a couple of years ago. Like, there's all of this stuff, and then talk about decentralization. No one uses any of this stuff. So I like using Vim personally because it is a product of the product I believe in, which is Hive. So I will use Vim. Now, as for the war, all I know is it gets the bigger these companies get, the more people are in their pockets, the more people they have to appease. I don't know anything about the Kick getting 100 million. Don't know anything about it. I just know Twitch is always in the news about shutting someone's account down, and people just lose their mind on Twitter. I just use Vim, man. That's my live stream and stuff. You know anything about the war?
Yeah, Ukraine's getting there. Well, no, not that war.
Wrong war, sir.
Listen, and again, I mean, I don't want to keep putting them up on a pedestal, but Dan been talking about this shit for 4 years. It's the same thing. I mean, 100 million in VC money means it's the same story as Facebook 101, Twitter 101, all this other Silicon Valley VC bullshit. At some point, the platform turns against the users because the VC people are sitting there saying, we gave you that 100 million. We weren't doing that because we're nice guys.
Right.
They want to get paid. It's that plain and simple. And, you know, this is the problem. And I don't care whether it's a crypto-related platform, a Web 2 related platform, streaming, social media, finance. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. When you are in bed with these VC companies, at the end of the day, they call the shots because they're patient early on. They'll wait. I mean, most of these VC contracts are like 8 years. So they're very patient, but you get into year 6 and you're not making any money. That's when they're turning around saying, you better monetize this son of a bitch. And,
and then you're in their pockets and you got to do their will because they fund it.
Exactly. And then that's where they look to cash out by going public and all that other stuff because, you know, you look at the Reddit situation, you know, following some of the links and stuff Marky's been throwing out there about it. He's following, you know, which of course doesn't surprise me. This Reddit situation's right up Marky's alley. Mm-hmm. But he's following it like a hawk. And, you know, this is all stuff that evidently Reddit's doing, pissing off the user base because Reddit is looking to pull off an IPO next year. And so they got to get their revenues up. They got to pad their numbers. They got to do this, that, and the other thing. And they just pissed off the user base. And it's the same story over and over and over again. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, you see Dan, you see Starkers, they're tweeting about it all the time that we have no VC money. Yes, it's a slower process. Yes, we're building this shit on, you know, shoestring budgets. It takes a long time. I mean, you know, some of these projects need 4 developers and you have 1 developer working part-time. So that's going to make it 4 times as long to get the code down. But, you know, at least we're not beholden to other people. And, you know, that's just how that works. It's a little slower. It's not as glamorous. It's not as sexy. You don't get the write-up because you raised $100 million. But you also don't have those problems 5 years down the road.
That's a good point. He follows that up with, did any of you invest in the DAB project? I joined because it was a joint project between Spinvest and BroFund. I've heard of it, but no, I personally, I'm like,
nope.
This is beating a dead horse. I talk about my January 1st aha moment. I trimmed the fat, man. I literally, I'm trying to put blinders on for this year at least. Just Leo, CTP, Hive. Leo, CTP, Hive. Like, I'm sure there's other things going on. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing opportunities. And crypto, you really got to jump on early with some of this stuff before it goes to the moon. Pepe token. But no, I have not invested. But I have heard of it. But that's a long answer. Tass just said no.
No, well, I echo your sentiments because, listen, my opinion, and this is just my opinion, but I go back to 2017, John.
Yeah.
And you see these people saying, I invested in 40 IPOs.
Right, yeah.
And I'm just saying to myself, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
There's no way you can research that many. And there's no way to stay up on all these topics. And I don't know what a good project is. I don't know what a bad project is with a lot of this stuff. I mean, all of it sounds good. I mean, the people behind it would be really stupid if they couldn't at least make it sound good when they're putting it together. But that doesn't mean it's gonna come to fruition. And if it does, great. There's an opportunity to make money. Good, go for it. My hat's off to people. But how many projects do you need? I mean, for me, I think there's a tremendous opportunity to make money with Leo. Okay, I'm biased. I got a lot of Leo, but I got a lot of Leo because I feel there's a tremendous
you believe in it.
to make money off Leo.
Yeah.
I have a lot of Hive because I feel the same thing about that. I feel Bitcoin has much more higher side, so I got myself some Bitcoin, not nearly as much as the others. I got some Ethereum because even though it's a banker chain, I think it's going to do well with over the long haul. But I'm not actively monitoring Bitcoin and Ethereum. I just have them, and it's like, okay, I'll wait for a pump and maybe sell them if Bitcoin gets to 100, 125. Maybe I'll sell a little bit, take it off the table. I don't know, but I'm not looking for any more stuff like you, John. It's like I got my HBD in savings, I got my Hive, I got my Leo. I keep building there, and it's like I got some of these other income tokens over time, like EDS, and I get like 16 Hive every week. Fine. Every week that comes in, it's like I'm with you. You can go in too many different directions, and it's like you tend not to make money like that because you're going to sprinkle yourself in so many different areas that you're going to have your losers, and there's the potential that they could offset your winners. Right. Now if you get a couple major wins, okay, that's taking the VC approach. VC venture capitalists, from what I heard, tech venture capitalists, they'll take for every 10 projects they invest in, they look for one to be a major home run, two to turn some type of profit, and basically they write the other 7 off his losses, because and they look to make their money on those 1 or 2 home runs. Tough way to live, if you ask me.
It's almost gambling, but it is.
How do you keep track of all that stuff?
I couldn't do it. Dude, in 2017, 2018, and I know Crazy Cowboy is watching. This is Rich Taylor, my really good friend. He was in Vim earlier, and this is what him and I started back in 2017. We said, we're going to take $100 every month, and we're just going to go buy 5 tokens, random tokens, and we're just going to see what they do for the month. And at the end of it, Rich and I sat there, and this is why I had the Binance account too, mind you. We're sitting there going, dude, we had like 50 of these stupid tokens and couldn't even tell you what, like Power Ledger. That's the only one I remember because it said that it was going to be a power distribution company for the future, and it was going to like decentralize power grids or whatever. After about 5 months of this, me and him just said, forget it, man. Like, that's enough. It was ICO crazy. I would try, if it was altcoin buzz, that was the really popular YouTube channel back then. And they would say, oh, this is going to moon. And everyone would go and buy it. Oh, this is going to moon. Everyone would go buy it. It was just stupidity. It was pure stupid. Just didn't know what we were doing. Let's just go and experiment. Thankfully, we didn't go too deep. It was $500 experiment, whatever. But ICOs, man, I couldn't keep up. There's no way I can keep up with all these projects on Hive. So I'm selective.
Yeah, and it's like, I work my ass off on Leo for one reason. I expect to get rich off Leo. And if we get Leo to the levels that some of us think Leo can go to, I'll be very wealthy in Leo. Now, is that putting all my eggs in one basket? No, I have my eggs in other basket. I have other eggs, but it's like, I've said this over and over, John. Go to the Bloomberg Billionaire Index. Just do a search for that. It's it's a up to date, real time list of the billionaires or the top 500 billionaires or whatever.
Yeah.
But just scroll through the top 50. Almost every single one of them, you can identify with a company.
The brand, right? Yeah.
You know, so it's like, I mean, you know, they okay, granted, a lot of them were founders of these companies like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, stuff like that. But, you know, they put their eggs in that basket. Who is it who said that? Carnegie, I believe it was. He said, put all your eggs in one basket and watch the basket like a hawk. I mean, you know, okay,
Right,
that's maybe a little excessive, but the point is well taken, that I do everything I can for Leo because I have a huge stake in Leo. I believe in what's taking place, and I think the potentiality is there. I have the same feeling about Hive. I might be completely wrong, and I might lose everything on it, but you know, if you're broke going in, you've lost nothing.
That's exactly what I think. I had nothing coming into this crypto stuff. I'd lost my PayPal account. I didn't have a dime to my name. So all of this is like, if it goes to the
moon, you didn't even have a job, and now you got a job.
Yeah. That's so I don't have to sell any more crypto. That's literally why I'm putting up with my job, you know, just so I don't have to sell any more crypto. Like, I'm sick of selling.
Life in the bear market.
Oh, dude, it's rough. It's rough out there for the hustlers. Speaking of hustlers, Tokenize wants to know what happened to Taskmaster's Twitter Spaces. What happened to that? Project done? Did you start?
No, it's. I got to get back to it. It's just been the last couple of weeks. Had some time issues and some time constraints, and I to be honest with you, I haven't been able to. It's not so much doing the spaces; it's researching to do the spaces, and I just haven't had time to do that. And you know, now with Leo Glossary being overlooked for so long, I got to get back into that. And then there's this, I forget what they're calling it. I'm calling it Hive Broadcasting Network, whatever. Starkers and Dan and you know, some of those people are setting up with, you know, Neo is involved and some of these others, you know, trying to create shows and that type of thing. So it's just Tokenized. There's so much on my plate right now. And, you know, this is why I get pissy sometimes. I really do. And it's like, I'll lash out at people and basically tell them to fuck off, because it's like, pull your weight. Yeah. And it's like people want to
complain. Trying, man. Like, stop being so mean to me, Task.
Well, you know, it's like, I don't be mean to you to try to get the message because you get the message. I'm mean to you because it's fun. And it's easy. But anyway, no, it's, you know, it's just, again, it's like the carrot's here. It's like, if you can't see what's going on, I mean, going back to what Forex Broker said, this is fucking financial advice. If you can't see what's going on with Leo as compared to other projects in crypto, and, you know, John and I will be the first to admit, we don't know every project out there. We can't speak intelligently about most projects, but we've been around this space long enough to know what most projects are about. And they're about the quick hit. They're about the pre-mine. They're about the hype. They're about green candles. They're about price go up. They're about token burns. And they're not about building anything. And you see very little business building and business sense applied to any of this stuff. That's just the way it is. Yeah. You know, now it may be different once you get the VC money, and I can't speak to those. I mean, I'm sure the VC, before they fork over the money, there better be a business plan and all of that shit. But I know damn well, thinking back to the internet, the .com boom, there were guys who dropped out of college and said they were building an app and they get like $3-4 million in VC money. And they didn't, well, what are you doing? Where I'm building an app. Yeah. You know, and they had no business plan, and people threw them $3 and $4 $5 million or more. So I know it can happen, but I think, you know, technology wise, financial people and investors are a lot more astute than they were 25 years ago, I would think. But, yeah, you know, it's just, there's a lot of stuff going on. And to make a difference, everybody has to step up. So, I mean, I spend a lot of hours on Hive, and, people say, well, you're making all this money. I when you look at the hours I put in on Hive, it's really not that much. And then there's other things to be done. Um,
Yeah.
People have to step up, and yeah, I can throw up 10,000 threads in a month, but I can't throw up 10,000 threads in a month and do Leo glossary. I can't throw up 10,000
Right.
threads in a month, do Leo glossary, and then do Twitter Spaces and all this other stuff.
So you're saying you're not a machine then?
I'm a machine that still only has 24 hours, and I haven't found a way to increase either my CPU or my typing skills.
Yes.
I need faster processors, or I need faster something.
Forex Broker said, Taskmaster, that was a cold no to the Hive Fest question. Are you not a fan of the Hive Elite?
No, I'd love to go to Hive Fest. I would love to be there. I think it would be a great time. No, I don't have. I don't. Now this is bringing up another question. I don't really have a problem with the Hive quote unquote elite. I mean, there's jackasses in there like anywhere. I mean, there's jackasses within any group of people. Hell, there are a lot of people think I'm a jackass, and they're probably not wrong. I think there's a lot of quality people on Hive. I'm not part of the woke crew that says, oh, these whales are just greedy and assholes and all that. Are there greedy asshole whales on Hive? Yes. But are all of them? No. Do I think block trades has a selfish, vindictive bone about him? I don't really think so. I think he's very dedicated. I think Yaba is very dedicated. I mean, they call me Dan Starkers. To be completely honest, I don't even know who all the whales are. I don't even know who has stake. Marky, we've had Marky on. I like Marky. I mean, he's a personality that some people might have a difficult time accepting because he's very blunt, but I appreciate that. I think he really cares about Hive. Smooth. I mean, I don't know much about Smooth other than the fact that he did the HBD stabilizer. He's done great work there. I don't even know who the elite is, and are there some whales that downvote people? Yeah. Is some of it malicious? Yeah, probably, but is all of it? No. I mean, to be honest with you, there are some people who, quite frankly, should be downvoted for some of what they do. But those who are running witness nodes, I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. So, I mean, I don't really have many confrontations with people, but I don't go out looking for them, and I know there's some that don't like me, and some I'm not real fond of, but most of them I don't really care. Don't have any ill feelings for. To be honest with you, I don't even know who most of them are. I mean, are the ones I just mentioned. I'm trying to think. I don't even know who the top witnesses are. I'm trying to go through. Archange, I missed him.
Archange, yeah,
but he seemed like it. He's been
a
on
good dude, man.
times. I didn't have any ill feelings towards him. I mean, maybe behind the scenes there's problems, but I can't comment on that. Who else is there? Acidio. I mean, he's an interesting personality, but I mean, he's trying to do different things.
He cares about Hive, like you can.
Yeah, he's doing different.
You can tell the guys that that are out there, right? That interact with people, like. And I've personally never had any problem with anybody on Hive. Well, no, that's a lie. I got downvoted a whole bunch of times because I bought a bunch of SBI tokens, and that was a big drama for I think about 6 months, and then Bernie got into it and started downvoting the guy who was downvoting all the SBI stuff, and it was just a whale war. But that was just that had nothing to do with me personally. And that's just people's belief, and that's the thing with decentralization, right? I mean, you gotta take it for what it is, man. It's people's stake, and they can do whatever they want.
Listen, there's and going back to Forex Broker and buy Leo, there's something else. I mean, and here's the major shift that I believe is going to take place. The problem is we outside of Splinterlands, which Splinterlands is a different animal because it's a game. But outside of Splinterlands, we've never had anything really at the second layer that's become extremely successful in terms of value. Yeah. And if Leo gets to $1.50, $2, $3, $4, whatever, hell, if Leo gets to 50 cents, all of a sudden you're going to have a shitload of people with more value in Leo than they do in Hive. And there's going to be a shitload of people making more money each day in Leo than they do in Hive. And these people are going to focus on Leo and really not give a shit about Hive. The reason why so many people are concerned about Hive, I believe, is twofold. First, it's the only thing that really has any value. I mean, even Leo at 8 cents, it's like, okay, whatever. But the other thing is a lot of us came in before there was anything else other than the base layer coin. So it was like we were conditioned to focus on that because in the early days, that was all there was. Right. But if you join now and you join Leo, it's like if you're focusing on building your layer stake, again, I keep going Forex Broker because he summed it up, stack Leo. If you're focusing on that and you get a little Hive on the side, hell, even some of you might even take your Hive once you get enough resource credits, sell the Hive for Leo. I mean, it's like, what do you want? Going back to what John said on in his decision the first of the year. And if you want a chance at a nice multiple, Leo could well be that. I mean, does Leo have a 10x in it? What would that put it at? About 85 cents, 83 cents. I don't think that's unrealistic. Let's say over a 2-year period of time, a 10x. That's pretty damn good.
Well, I did that post yesterday about it. It was, it was the 176 versus 12,000. And I compared like how much it would take to be a whale on Hive compared to a whale on Leo. And if you believe in a token, in a project, you just look at the math. I mean, 176 grand is what you would need to buy, give or take, worth of Hive to get the 550,000 staked Hive. To become an apex lion is 150,000 Leo at current prices. That's about 12 grand. So you can see, yes, there's different factors and market cap and this, that, and the third in price. But if you believe in something and you know that stake matters and you know that shows the community that you're serious about it, that you want to be a person of influence, that you want to be able to give more influence out as well, you go in on this. I mean, that's my approach to it. I think the best thing about focusing on Leo, for example, is that you're also growing your Hive at the same time.
Yeah. So it's not either or. It's you get both.
Yes.
And my other opinion is very simple. You get Leo with a market cap of, I don't know, let's take $1. That makes it about $16 million right now. You get that, that's going to create excitement. That's going to create activity. And to get there, you're going to have some activity. That's going to feed through to Hive. Now, how much of an impact will it have on the price of Hive? Who knows? Right. But again, that will help to push value to the base layer. And I am very, very optimistic on Leo because of the simple fact that Cal is out there. Cal is taking feedback. Even today, or even yesterday, I guess it was, he put up a thread saying, communities are live. What are your suggestions? How can we make it better? And I believe he put it up yesterday. Maybe it was the day before. And already today, the changes are made.
It's amazing.
And we know development's taking place. So as long as development's taking place, we know things will change. You can argue whether they get better, or not, but they'll change. And that's a good thing because that shows you're not dead. It's not stagnant. They take feedback. We have the feedback tag, not only for errors. You can throw ideas up there and post it under feedback. And Cal reads that. And if it's a good idea, he puts it on his list and the developers work it in. So the idea that, Cal is the only one deciding what gets added, a lot of the stuff that gets built in comes from the community because people say, how about this? Now, he put up something about the wallet. He put that up today about a thread. And I threw up, I said, can you build into the thread where you can go into Leo Finance, where you can go from your wallet directly to the internal exchange and swap HBD to Hive and Hive to HBD? Now, I've mentioned that in the past before, but I mention it again. I don't know if it'll show up. I don't know if he'll take that suggestion. I don't know if it's even feasible. But if it suddenly shows up at one point, it's like he took the feedback. So I think that's really very, very valuable. And that's why with Leo, it's not standing still. And that's important because there's so many projects that are standing still so much they're dead.
Yep, that's a good point. I got a couple more before we wrap up. I want to get Jessica. It's Sunseeker. That's how you say her name, Sunseeker. She just spelt it funky. Sunseeker. It's like Sad Cry. It's spelt weird, but it's Sad Cry. Crazy, right?
Yeah. Sad Cry.
It's supposed to be Sad Cry.
The crazy Canadian in Toronto.
Crazy Canadian, yeah. There were a bunch of us. Sunseeker. That's Jessica Gomez. She said, have you supported the Hispa Pro witness, a new Hispanic witness? Support a friend. So I did. So there you go. I did.
Well, you have to, because I can't support a friend. I got no friends.
Exactly. Well, you have no friends. It's okay. Let's go down here. Bradley Arrow was talking about crazy Canadians. He said, I love you, Bradley. I've met him in real life. He's a real person. There's a few people I've actually met in real life, so I know he's not AI.
I don't have a problem with Bradley. Bradley is a lot of fun. He's an interesting guy. He's
a Newfoundlander,
but he's got a good sense of humor, a good personality. He's witty. He has some good comebacks, and
he's from the best province in this country.
Is he? Isn't he like kind of floating in the Atlantic?
He's floating in the Atlantic on a rock, right by the Titanic and the Titan.
Is that where you were living?
Yeah, that's where I was born. My family from there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was living out there for like a year, and then my wife was like, "I hate it." So, like, that's it. Back out west. Let's go. I tried. Anyways, yes, Eliana says she wishes she was AI so she could work better. You and I both. Bradley, yes, I noticed this. Have you seen this new feature yet? This is what we were talking about just now with Tass saying Leo's always working on stuff. This is what they're working on, a little autofill. You start typing in someone's username and it starts popping up.
Yeah, now people can actually tag Nifty.
Yeah. Let's just refresh here to make sure. 37 comments and 71 views. So what does that mean? That means 1.53 Leo will be bought back because of you guys and your awesomeness. Let me just scroll down, make sure I'm not forgetting. A lot of comments.
I still believe one of the great use cases for Leo Finance or for Threads is Threadcast. I mean, this is just amazing.
I love it.
I mean, for us, because it's a question and, we do these question and answer shows. But like next week, we got Manny coming on, Hive Cuba.
Yep.
Manu Photos, I guess is
Manu Photos. Yep. Good dude.
Twitter name. Yeah, we've had him on before. He's behind the Hive Cuba account and the Hive Cuba initiative. But again, I mean, come into the Threadcast next week, and as we're talking to him, drop questions that you have for him, or comments, or things of that nature. I mean, this is how we can engage and go back and forth.
Yep. just to rub salt in the wound, Forex said Power Ledger is actually legit. So I'm an idiot. There you go. I would have got in a Power Ledger at their ICO and paid pennies. I don't know what the crypto is trading at now, but I'm an idiot. So that's good. Don't ever take financial advice from me. But lots of comments. Jessica wants to know, when working on Spanish, Leo Glossary, how's your Spanish task?
Probably not much better than your technical analysis, to be honest with you.
My what is it? BMI? No, BMI is body mass index. What's the RSI? RSI lines.
You want a little RSI or MACD crossovers? How are your
Bollinger Bands?
Yeah, I never used the Bollinger Bands, but there's a bunch of them. Support and resistance. If you want to be very basic with your TA, just draw your support and resistance lines, your channel lines, and see where those go. But yeah, that's a hell of a lot better than my Spanish.
There you go.
But actually, I did reply to Eric in Spanish because I wrote. It's funny you mentioned this. I wrote Domingo Herman, and he's you know who he is, John?
No.
He pitched a perfect game for the Yankees.
Oh, right. Yes. The first one in like years.
Yeah, it's like their fourth in history, but their history is like 180 years. But anyway, so I wrote Domingo Hermes pitched, a perfect game for the Yankees, fourth in history. And Eric wrote, for a second there, I thought you were writing in Spanish because I saw Domingo, and I'm like, I thought you were talking about Sunday Herman. And then I just wrote back, Hablo español muy un poco, madre fucker. No, I wrote madre fucker, and Tokenize wrote that and laughed and said, I got to remember that one.
Well, it's funny because Manu's coming on, and I remember the first time we had him on, he was like, oh man, I'm going to need a translator. And this guy like speaks perfect English. Like I'm sitting there kind of like doing like, are you kidding me? Like you put me in any Spanish country and all I'm like a sign across my head that says help. Like,
even the sign will be in English.
Yeah, even the sign will be in English. I won't even know. I don't even know. You couldn't even tell me. I couldn't even tell you what that is in Spanish. Anyways, I'm not American, but by the actions of my linguistic ability, you'd think I am. Right?
See, the difference is though, it's like the joke. What do you call somebody who speaks on one language? American. We can't say that about Canadians because, there's a large portion of you who speak French.
Yes. So, I worked with a French guy today.
Yeah, we can't even say that about Canadians, but, Americans, we speak English, and it's like we expect the rest of the world to speak English.
Eliana said she'd help with the Portuguese translation. So
her and Tokenize can go back and forth. He speaks Portuguese.
Yeah, that's the official language of Brazil.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, what's the difference? And I asked him. He said, "They're two different languages, dumbass."
Oh, don't say that about Spanish and Portuguese. You'll create a.
No, I mean, he said, he goes, I don't really. He goes, I can understand a little, but he goes, I don't really understand a lot of it. What did he say? I forget what he said. He said, I think Spanish people have an easier time understanding Portuguese than vice versa, or maybe I'm doing it backwards, but I don't know what it is. I don't. Oh, Eliana. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. What's that?
This show has gone down really quick. It was very, good, and now we're just talking about how bad we are at English and other languages.
Yeah, I mean, I've spent a lot of the decades speaking English. I'm still trying to get that right. So it's like, and then there's always like Japanese and Chinese, and it's like
Konnichiwa.
Wow.
That's it.
What?
Konnichiwa.
Sake.
Good stuff.
Tokenized Society knows that one. See, he speaks Japanese. Sake.
Yeah. Heineken. He also speaks Dutch, apparently, too. So, there we go.
Isn't that German?
No, man. Heineken's Dutch, man. Come on. Kidding me?
Oh, Beck's is German.
Beck's is German. Beck's the GO, the German ones. Yeah. That was... Okay, let's stop the live show because I was about to go on like back in my day. Anyways, that's you know it's going
down. Spanish don't understand us.
See,
what'd she write? Arigato?
that's arigato is Portuguese, I think.
What does it mean?
Oh no, arigato is Japanese,
Oh,
isn't it? Anyway,
I don't know.
I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Toodles.